So the Penguins had a quiet week, only 2 games since the last time we talked. Thursday they played in Florida, which it's funny when people in cold weather cities go down to Florida to play, because I mean right now in Pittsburgh it's like 24 degrees Fahrenheit. So you go down to Florida and it's 70, 80, 90 degrees or whatever. Everybody's like, oh my god, this is a miracle. It's just so funny. But they won that game 4-2, and I don't know what's going on with Florida this year.
They started out strong.
They're not doing well. They're doing okay. They're fourth in the Atlantic. That's not too bad.
Yeah, they're not doing bad.
I think Kachuk is hurt, so maybe that losing their best player didn't help. So and then they played Sunday night and lost to Carolina 3-2. And I don't know. What did you? Well, let's go back to Florida. What did you think of the Florida game?
I found the first period very boring, like very lifeless. I guess they had expelled most of their energy out on the beach.
Maybe.
But Letang did have a shorthanded goal in the second period, which was pretty exciting. Letang seems to have a lot to prove. For some reason, you don't, Letang. We already know you're great. I'd kind of rather see him take it easy, but I'm not going to be the one to tell him to slow down.
I think he only knows one way to be, unfortunately. He only knows.
Yeah, but it's just scary. I'm still like, anytime now he hits the ice, I'm just nervous. And
I agree. I'm worried.
Anyways, we won't think that way. Knocking on wood. And then Jake had a power play goal. So I think we've had a bunch of power play goals now, which is good. I sound horrible. I sound like a horse. It's good.
No, you're fine.
In the third period, this is fun. So Sydney had a shot that went off Gino. And Gino went down in pain. Ended up being a power play goal. Thankfully, Gino wasn't out, but I did notice in yesterday's game, Gino was favoring his knee. He was playing hurt, which was unnecessary.
Just don't play, man. I mean, we get it.
Take the time. Okay. We're not in trouble. But we'll talk more about that after. But we all know Sydney campaigned heavily for Gino with Hextall to re-sign Gino in the off season. Something that both me, you, and Ash at the time were all like, what the hell is going on? So it's kind of ironic that it was Sydney to take Gino out. And Sydney was pretty nonchalant about it. Like, I remember it wasn't even Sydney that went over to him to help him up. I think it was Raquel. And
yeah. I mean, he just went down he
dropped like a bag of bricks.
Right.
And he was clearly in pain. And you know what? I don't know whose fault that was. It had to have been Gino's. Like, he was standing kind of in the crease a little bit. Either way, we got the goal. Gino played in the next game, but it's ironic, right? It's ironic. And I dreamt about that the following night. So Thursday night, I woke up maybe 5 or 6 times. That image kept recreating in my dreams.
Of Malkin getting hit in the knee.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'd wake up upset, and then other times I'd wake up laughing. And then I'm like, there are no coincidences. Like, I'm a firm believer in that. So, it is what it is. But the irony is definitely rich. And I just hope that Gino playing on Sunday yesterday too prematurely isn't going to come back to bite him in the butt later on in the season. But we'll see what happens. We did win that game, and it was it came to life. I guess it was wild. It's been a wild season across the league for many reasons.
Weird.
But yeah,
It's weird. Yeah. And then the Carolina game, uh, they this was just, man, I miss Jordan Stahl. I wish we would have found a way to keep him. I loved him when he was with the Penguins.
I wasn't with the Penguins when he was with us, with you guys, with us. Yeah,
Um,
make no sense.
but just a big dude that, I
He's
mean,
definitely a character player.
yes.
You know what though? I did like the start. We had good rhythm, good flow. It was good first. It was very good first 10 minutes of the first period. I did note that Gino was playing hurt, and I noted that that was an explicit starting with F, ing stupid, and that he was also getting gassed quite easily, which is he needs to work on his cardio maybe, but I wasn't a big fan of seeing that. Like, we're at what, game 31, so we're not quite at the halfway mark. Excuse me. There's no reason to be playing hurt, no reason at all.
Too early. Yeah, it's too early to be.
It's not the playoffs, it's not, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yeah, we
But
understand. Take a game off, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's okay.
the best moment of that game, even though we lost, was that one play with McGinn and Kapanen, that setup from Kapanen to McGinn. McGinn's goal in the third period was just, it was so beautiful. I kept replaying it over and over again, and I'm like, this is what I want to see from like all the players, all the lines. Like, it is so flawless, and this is what I'm talking about, like this fluidity and connection. And it was confident, and it was really sexy, for lack of a better word. And that's a perfect word. And I was really, really happy to see that moment between McGinn and Kapanen. That was the highlight for me.
What do you think about how Kapanen's playing lately?
He's been good. Error wise, he's not making too many. I mean, well, yeah. Kapanen, no turnovers. He's good. He's been doing good. That sitting him, benching him was the best decision ever made.
It worked. It seemed to have worked.
Sure did.
You could see why you want to stick with a guy like that, and just be patient, because he has so much. I mean, he's usually the fastest player from either from his team and the opponent's team, and when you got that kind of speed, that just what do they say, speed kills. That it's like, if you could just harness that speed and use it correctly and play right, he could be a real problem.
Absolutely. Not necessarily. Well, he got, what did he got an assist on McGinn's goal, so I'm happy with him. He's doing exactly what he needs to be doing, and I'm impressed with him. Casey, on the other hand, Casey was good yesterday. He did let up one really, Stahl's goal. I don't know, that Stahl's, was it last? Yeah, Stahl's goal to make it 3-2. Oh my God, what was he thinking? That was brutal. I mean, Casey knew it too. He was just. Do you remember the third goal?
Yeah.
That was brutal.
There's a lot of things we thought were questionable moves in the offseason, but one of them was, you brought back Casey DeSmith. Really? After what you saw, what happened with Tristan Jarry, that one time in the playoffs, so the last year he got hurt, so he was done. I think the year before that he was totally awful, and he sunk the team. Get a better backup goalie. And I mean, nothing against Casey DeSmith, but he doesn't play that often, and when you do, don't suck, man.
No, I just have a problem with that one goal. Like, he makes some big saves. I'm not even. Jari's been good too, great, but Jari lets in some weak saves, or weak goals too. So I'm not. I seen someone post tweet actually recently, is Jari the best goalie in the league? I had to just scroll past it because it's a friend of mine. But team is doing well. We've climbed the ladder, but there's still a lot of things that we need to excuse me, focus on. One thing I have a problem with, and I think I talked to you about it before, were tablets on the bench. There is no reason why our players need to take their head out of the game to study something that happened until after the game. Tablets on the bench are the biggest waste of time. They are so stupid and foolish. Whoever incorporated them, brought them onto the bench, is a moron. And if I ever find out who it was, I would literally probably do something that would end. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yeah, but doesn't every team do that though?
It does, and it's so stupid. Like, take Sydney for example. Like, his production's been down, and I see him on the bench, like, plays going on, and he's not focused. He's not paying attention. He's not letting what's going on the ice impact him. He's head down looking at a tablet. Nothing that you can see that was going on in a prior shift is going to help you on your next shift. You need to stay present in the moment, and then you can take, and when the game's done, you can take all the time you want to review footage. It is absolutely asinine to spend time during the game to look at plays. That's what your coaching staff is for. If they want to bring up something after the game, so be it. Tablets are trash. Get them off the bench. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And if it were my bench, they wouldn't be on there.
Here's what I think they should do. Here's what we could have a happy compromise.
Yeah.
The players should not be using the tablets. There should be a coach that says, hey, here's what I'm seeing. Here's a summary of whatever. Here's what's going on the tablet, like a real quick thing, a real quick summary, and then it's like, okay, got it, and so they can still pay attention.
There's enough coaches on the bench. Yeah, exactly. It takes the players head out of the game, and then they've got that running through their head. So then when they're back on the ice, they're not really present. It's absolutely a waste. It's stupid. I hate it, and I've hated it since I first saw it, and I can't believe it's still continuing, and everyone's okay with it. I think it's a waste.
How long has that been going on?
It's been a couple. I don't know, maybe 5 years now.
Oh wow!
But I mean, like, we have video coaches going over stuff like this. Like, it's absolutely a waste of time.
Exactly.
Oh, that hurts,
or have a tiny little film study in between periods. You got what, 15 minutes or whatever. Maybe that's when you look at things. Like, hell they do that on the team broadcast.
It's just silly. I think, like, keep your head up. Hockey 101, but keep your head up, stay present, see what's going on, because something that happens on the ice while you're on the bench can fuel you on your next shift. Yeah. Like, fuel you, inspire you. You know what I mean?
Of all people, I think that would be weird for Crosby to be, he's so traditional and focused and stuff, that it would be surprising that he would take himself out of that to be looking at a tablet. That's odd.
Yeah, it's very peculiar. It's very peculiar behavior. I don't quite understand it. I don't know if it's a, like, oh, everyone's doing it, so I got to do it kind of thing. I think he falls victim to that.
That's probably a lot of it. It's a trend. It's like, well, everybody's doing it, they must be right. So
yeah, that's something he tends to do.
Yeah.
Other departments too, anyways.
Yeah. Are you seeing Carter play any better, or is he still?
He's beauty on the face-off. Like, he's the only. No, Carter's not playing better, but he's our best face-off man, and that's something we need. Okay. Especially, it's so difficult because when Carter joined us, I was like against it. I'm like, no, get him out of here. Don't want it. But then I kind of started liking him. I saw his value, as I mentioned before. And now I'm starting to realize, he's a little bit washed up. I don't know the value he brings to the locker room. But I'm not seeing his value on the ice aside from his face-off skills. And I know how important those can become playoff time. So I don't know what's going on with him. But he's not causing any turnovers, so that's something.
He's not horrible.
He's kind of horrible.
Yeah. Okay.
but he is needed. He is needed in the department of face-offs because we're not very good in that department, and that department's pretty important.
Yeah. Almost right after we talked last week that we I think we were at some point we were saying, hey, there hasn't been many injuries, and then Petrie and Zucker were gone. Did they miss Zucker? Kind of. I mean, so basically they put Heinen on Malkin's line.
I love Heinen. He's been our best player.
Really?
Oh yeah, he makes the least amount of mistakes. Okay, so this week he's actually on our top 3 for missed shots, but he is he's a guts player. Like, he's needed on the team. I don't know why he was ever benched. I do know why. Sullivan doesn't know what he's doing most of the time. But where was I going with this? Sorry.
Well, I asked if Zucker is missed, but
I never was really a big fan.
Yeah, he's a bit
he's not really. He's kind of like like just there. Sometimes he does something good. Most times he does nothing. So we'd be losing him. He's not a loss. I'd hate, you know what? I'd hate if Carter or Zucker or whatever his name is, whatever, here. Feel bad. I feel bad today. I'm on medication, so I'm all sensitive.
Your playing hurts. You have well, let's just say upper body injury, because we don't want the other podcast to target your so we can't be specific about that. We'll just say upper body injury.
Yeah.
Never mind your coughing and sneezing, but we won't say what that upper body injury is.
Yeah, I don't think that even Petrie's not really a super big loss either. Because he's another player that's heavy on the mistake department's not big in the production department. So I mean, sure, we lost to Carolina, but it was a tight game. It was close. 1 goal deficit. What, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it was a 2-goal game lead against Pittsburgh. That's us. Florida. So, 2 players were out. I don't know if it's big losses, to be honest. Yeah.
So what are you seeing in missed shots and turnovers?
Okay, so we did 2 games. We had a total of 23 missed shots. Last time we had a total of 23 missed shots was in 3 games over game 20, 21, and 22. So high, very high.
Do you want 5 and you're getting more than 10? That's not good.
Yeah. So we had, sorry, I had all this. I'm scrambled. My brain is scrambled, Joe. So we had 12 in 30, game 30, and 11 in game 31. And what we're looking at is, everyone's favorite, Joseph, in first place with 5 turnovers. And that is, I'm telling you, he's making more mistakes as each game progresses. 2 turnovers in the first period against Florida, and 2 more in the third period against Florida. And then he had 1 in the second period against Carolina. This is a problem. He's not getting better, he's getting worse. Anyways, back to turnovers. So second place, we've got tied with Raquel and Ruda with 3 each. And then tied in third, we've got a bunch. Pedersen, Jari, Gino, and Sydney all have 2. So in 31 games, we've got a total of 280 turnovers, by my calculations anyways. Because I don't actually go on any websites or anything. This is really basically
that's over 9. It's almost 10, like between 9 and 10 a game.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. And I should be keeping track of which turnovers lead to a goal, but I should have started that at the beginning of the season, but I don't want to now. I'm just sticking with what I started with. Anyways, moving to missed shots, we had a total of 30. And the last time we had that many was again in games 20, 21, and 22, we had 31 turnovers in those 3 games. So again, that's 15 per game we had. And I know, again, sometimes we're rushing shots, and that's fine. It happens. You want to fire one off and hope for the best. We got to tighten those up. We got to tighten those up and limit them as much as possible and work on our accuracy. So in 31 games, we have a total of 371 missed shots based on my calculations. In first place, we've got Sydney with 4. And he did not score any goals in the last 2 games, though he did have 2 assists. One off Gino's knee, which would have, I think, been a goal had Gino not been in the way. Second place, we've got a tie, 3-way tie with Raquel, Gensel, and Carter with 3 missed shots each. And then in third place, we've got a lot. Patterson, Heinen, McGinn, Rust, Letang, and Kapanen with 2 missed shots. So this is a big bunch. There's a bunch of them that need to get on the ice after practice or stay longer and work on their shots, tighten it up. Because if we're losing games or if we're missing the net more than we should be, then we're scoring goals, we need to be sinking more pucks. And yeah, these are 2 areas we started getting better at, and now we've gotten worse at. So I don't know if I'm developing complexes for anyone listening to this, but do better.
Yeah.
And I sound so excited and stuff. There's a lot of good in the last 2 games, even in the loss, there was a lot of good. I liked how we started the game against Carolina. I don't like how I think that we need to. I think we need to work on more open lines of communication on the ice. Get rid of the tablet on the bench. Stay present. Big thing, and work on accuracy. Those are the 2 things I want to see moving forward. Because we do have a big stretch coming up. Not big stretch, but we're playing some. I could be talking out of my butt right now. Who are we playing?
We're playing the Rangers tomorrow,
and they're on a run right now.
Oh yeah, and then Carolina at home on Thursday.
Rangers have been beating big teams now. They've beat Dallas. They beat. Let me find them. Hold on.
It was. I mean, they started bad, and you knew they were going to figure it out because they're just they're just.
The Rangers beat Vegas. They beat Colorado. They beat St. Louis. They beat Toronto. They beat New Jersey. They beat Philly. Well, Philly doesn't count. They beat Chicago, but big time. They beat St. Louis 6-4, Vegas 5-1, Colorado was tight 2-1, New Jersey 4-3, Toronto 3-1, Philly 6-3, Chicago 7-1, and now they play us tomorrow. They're and Trouba had a beautiful goal, and it was funny. It was funny because everyone's chirping him on his big hits and all that. Oh, he's only good for hitting, and he had this really. I forget who it was that fed it backwards to him, and it was last night's game. Actually, it was. I'm a Trouba fan. It is what it is. I like players that play their role properly. It's like I'm a Marchand fan too. I know people in Pittsburgh are like, "Who is this girl? How can you be a Pens fan?" And this, that, and the other. First and foremost, I'm a hockey fan. Secondly, I'm a hockey coach, so I appreciate players that play their role properly and well and execute their job efficiently. I think that's important. And but at the end of the day, it's Penguins first for now.
If Trouba played for the Penguins, we would build a statue of him. We would think he's the greatest thing ever.
Exactly.
Same thing with Tom Wilson. We would think he was the greatest thing ever.
I would run that statue over. I don't like him. There's nothing in the world that would make me like that man. Nothing. No.
I hate him more than anything.
Yeah, I don't like him.
But it's
true. You're right. And
if he plays for your team, you would love him and overlook all of the. Tom Wilson is a piece.
Oh no, I would chirp the hell out of him. I would chirp the hell out of him. I love you, Pittsburgh, but I hate you, Tom Wilson.
Oh, everybody in Pittsburgh hates Tom Wilson. Yeah,
it's kind of like Ryan Reeves. I love Ryan Reeves, but I hated him in Pittsburgh.
It just did not work in Pittsburgh. He was just not. Yeah. In theory, on paper that would be a good idea. It's like, well, you need a tough guy, but this team needs also a tough guy who's not just a tough guy. You need a tough guy that can actually play.
Well, you know what? This team could use some muscle again.
Yeah.
Because
And
Carter's not it, and Jake can't be scrapping. He's like this big. He's so cute.
Yeah.
That one time he was rolling around with, what player was it? Oh my God. I'm like, it's so cute. Making them stop.
I know.
Stop. So cute.
Jake Ansel will always be carded at any time he
I know
buys
he's the
drinks. I don't
cutest thing
care.
ever. But you know what? He does have a set of kahunas, whatever it's called on him. Like, he will get involved, and I appreciate that with him. But you know, a big boy comes in and lays him out, that he'll disintegrate.
Well, let's talk about the week after that, the next week too, because I don't think I'm gonna be. I think I'll be away the day after Christmas. They play at the Islanders, and then the next night they play home to Detroit, and then they play New Jersey on Friday night. Oh, I can't wait till they play New Jersey. That's gonna be fun, and by fun, it possibly disastrous.
New Jersey is still playing well.
So far, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're on they first in the Eastern Conference or something like that.
They're third overall. I look at
Mhm.
overall. I always
Yeah.
look at overall. Yeah. I don't really care about division. Yeah. Toronto's up there. Toronto's 5th overall. Wild. Yep. New York 9th overall. Ahead of us. We're
How's
10th.
Toronto doing?
Toronto's doing well. Toronto is doing well. They've probably got the best goalie tandem in the league. I'm not gonna lie. Our boy Murray, so proud. I actually went to this coach's clinic. Here, I'll show you the puck. I don't know if you can see it. They did this coach's clinic at
okay.
the Maple Leaf Gardens. Did I just date myself? Whatever it's called, wherever they play, a couple weeks ago on the 10th. And I went just to listen to Shanahan and Dubas and all them talk. And we got to actually watch the Leafs morning skate. We were supposed to watch Calgary's morning skate too, but they played the night before, so they didn't come out. But it was actually really cool because there's about 300 coaches in the stands, and Shanahan comes out and he goes, "So how many of you coaches have coached players that are now in the NHL?" And I'm just like, right? He looks over at me and he looks around. He's like, "So about 6 of about 300. And then he looks over at me again and he's like, "Well, I think I told you, didn't
Yeah.
I?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, I was one of those 6, and I got like all like flustered and like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen, right? And but yeah, so it was kind of cool. Like I've seen the Pens morning or practices a couple times, and I was Winnipeg's practice I actually seen in Pittsburgh. But it was cool to see a game day skate. I've never really watched those before. But Murray and Samsonov they're the real deal. Murray's playing phenomenally. Yeah,
That's great. That's
I
great.
know.
Good for him.
I'm so happy for him after everything that he's gone through.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know it's like, oh yeah, he's Stanley Cup winner, da 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 da, but he's gone through some hell.
Yeah,
Like,
he has.
with our fan base, with the loss of his dad, hell in Ottawa, it's been tough. So, I'm really proud of him.
It's
really,
really
proud.
cool when somebody achieves success and then just goes down and is really
and then the
down and then comes back up.
The redemption story.
Beautiful.
I'm Team Murray all the way. I've always been Team Murray. Like, he played 9 regular season games for us and then won a Stanley Cup with us and then came back and won another one the following season. Unheard of. And he was such a beauty for us. So confident. You never see that in young goaltenders. Goaltenders in the NHL, they don't mature until they're like 26, 27. Murray came and he's like, yeah, I'll show you how it's done. Murray is a Hall of Fame goaler. I don't care what goalie, Hall of Fame goaltender. Yeah, I'm okay, guys. Don't worry. But he's a beauty. He deserves the best. I'm a big fan, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does the rest of the season. It's been great watching him. Proud proud.
Leafs need a goaltender, so hey,
No,
if
I'm
they, if
telling you, they got the best two goaltenders, the best tandem. I'm telling you. I'm saying it.
in,
I'm saying it. Book it. I don't.
interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. So hey, if they could get good goaltending, they could maybe go far this year. I think they'll go far just on like law of averages. You like you can't be bad forever in the playoffs. At some point, same with the Penguins. You can't be bad for 5 years in a row. At some point, it got to come together.
Well, there's
We'll
also other
see.
factors that play into that.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a nice Christmas. I'll
Yes, Merry
probably
Christmas, Joe. Oh yeah, so I actually bought a binder and the card sleeves, and I put together the base card set and then another subset from that collection, and then just some extras that I had from other, like there's like 7 subsets part of that. So I just put as many, like just a bunch, filled it up as much as I can, and then I wrote a little message, and then I'm gonna ship it off to you probably either after Christmas, like the weekend, like before New Year's. So you should get it sometime in January, but I'm gonna track it. I'm gonna
okay.
pay like
Yeah,
extra to
yeah,
track it because I'm so upset you didn't get that slap shot guy,
yeah,
the
you've
Hanson
sent
brothers thing.
you've sent stuff before. It's freaking yeah. Between it happened. I don't want to say it happens
I
all the time,
sent
but it
it from
happens a lot.
Cranberry.
It was yeah. The mail here
I'm telling you,
sucks.
I think that you can actually call post office. It might be somewhere in like lost mail because
I'll check.
I didn't use your name. So you can call post office post or whatever it's called there and say, yeah, with your address, it could be under lost mail somewhere. Because I didn't use your real name. Someone
Hmm.
told me that because I mailed it
Interesting.
out of Cranberry, Pennsylvania.
Oh, maybe because you didn't.
Use
Yeah,
your
but
real name.
still, yeah. I'll check. I'll check. But yeah,
Definitely
but
do
yeah,
that. But
but
this
so
time,
hopefully it comes through. Hopefully, yeah.
you'll get the cards. It'll be tracked and all that stuff, and then you can show everybody on our
I
podcast call.
will. I will. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Oh, that's such a nice Christmas present.
You're welcome.
Yay! Yay! I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
No problem.
Talk to you next week. Merry
Okay, Joe.
Christmas.
All right.
See you.
Ciao.
Bye.